Welcome to Travel Austria Quick Tips. Great trips.
It's fantastic to be here, and today we're doing something a little different, I think. Something that might, surprise a few people. We are turning our backs on the usual suspects. So forget Vienna for a moment, let's pause on Salzburg, and we're heading all the way west.
Oh, yeah, to the absolute edge of the map.
Exactly. We are talking about Bregenz, the capital of Vorarlberg.
I am so ready for this. You know, when I think of Austria, my brain it just automatically goes to like the Danube or those huge imperial palaces. Sure, but Bregenz feels like a completely different ecosystem. It's almost like discovering a secret country inside the country.
Yeah, sure. That is the perfect way to frame it. It is so distinct. And if you just look at a map, you get it immediately, right? Vergennes sits right on Lake Constance, or the Bodensee, as the locals say.
Bodensee. Yeah, and it's literally the meeting point where Austria, Germany, and Switzerland all converge.
Right, a Bodensee, the famous three-country point.
Exactly. And that geography, it really dictates everything about the city. It doesn't feel like some remote Austrian mountain town at all.
It feels more international.
Completely. It feels like an international hub. You're in this really compact, incredibly walkable city, but you're staring at three different national borders right across the water, which is just such a cool idea for a traveler. You're based in one spot, but you can tap into three completely different cultures.
Right, and that's our mission for this deep dive, is we want to give you a really practical guide on how to use Bregenz, not just as a quick stopover, but as a proper base. So we're going to cover the vibe, what the city actually feels like, and then break down exactly how to spend, say, 48 hours there to really get the most out of it.
Nun, we must start with that vibe, because if you go there expecting, I don't know, horse-drawn carriages and baroque buildings on every corner, you're going to be pretty confused.
You certainly are. Bregenz is not trying to be a mini Vienna. It's got its own very specific confidence. And you have to remember, Vorarlberg is separated from the rest of Austria by a huge mountain range, the Arlberg. So historically, people there looked more towards, Switzerland and Germany.
Though the culture is a little different?
A bit more industrious, maybe a bit more grounded, and definitely more modern.
Feels like there are almost three distinct personalities to the city, which I love as a way to think about it. Yeah, the first one is pretty obvious: lakeside relaxation.
Yeah, right. Yeah, this is the Mediterranean face of the city. You've got the promenade, the amazing sunsets, sailboats.
In summer, it must feel like you're at the ocean.
It really does. It has this kind of resort atmosphere that is very unalpine in a way.
But then you have the second personality, and this is the one that really surprised me: culture and design.
Yeah.
I just didn't realize Vorarlberg was such a powerhouse for modern architecture.
Oh, it's world famous in architectural circles. They call it the Vorarlberg School. It's this very sleek, timber-based, sustainable modernism. Clean lines, lots of glass, local wood.
Though it's not kitschy.
Not at all. It's very forward-looking, very confident.
And
The third personality? The scenic heights, because the mountain, the Pfänder, it literally rises directly out of the lake.
so you can go from drinking an espresso at lake level to imitating gulping.
Looking down on the Alps from 1,000 meters up. And it takes, what, about 6 minutes?
That verticality is key. So you've got the water, the avant-garde art, and the mountain peak, all basically within walking distance.
That's the trifecta. And for you as a traveler, this just offers incredible flexibility. That's really the big takeaway here.
The ultimate flexible destination.
Exactly. If the sun is out, you're living the outdoor life. If the weather turns, and lake weather can be, moody, you have these world-class museums and cafes. You're never stuck.
Okay, let's get practical. The must-dos. I've just arrived, I've dropped my bags. Where am I going first?
There is really only one answer to that. You go straight to the lake promenade.
It sounds simple, but paint the picture for us.
So it's the Sunset Steps area. The promenade is wide, it's full of life. You've got cyclists, people strolling, swimming. But here's a pro tip: you need to do it twice
Okay, twice. Why twice?
because the entire character changes. You go once in the full daylight to see the sheer scale of the lake. You can see zeppelins from Germany, ferries crossing to Switzerland. It's busy, it's active.
Why?
But then you have to go back at sunset.
Right, it's west facing, I assume.
Perfectly west facing. The sun just drops right into the water, and the whole mood shifts. It goes from a busy thoroughfare to something, I don't know, quietly magical.
That's a great way to start a trip.
It really grounds you.
Okay, speaking of things on the water, we have to talk about the festival. Even if you're not an opera fan, you've probably seen pictures of the stage. It was in a James Bond movie, wasn't it?
That's the one. Yeah, Guadalcanal. It's the Bregenz Festival, or Bregenzer Festspiel. It's in July and August, and the stage is built on the water. It's the world's largest floating stage.
Right. The engineering is just insane. I've seen photos of the sets, like giant hands rising out of the lake, massive mechanical heads. It just looks wild.
It is a total spectacle. And the tip here is this: even if you don't have a ticket, or even if you're visiting in, say, May when there's no opera, go look at the stage.
It's just open to the public?
Yeah, you can walk right up to it, and it's fascinating to see the machinery up close. It sort of breaks down that stuffy barrier that opera can sometimes have.
It adds a real buzz to the city, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It brings this dressed up international crowd. The whole town feels like a party in the summer evenings. It's electric.
Okay, let's pivot to what we call the rain plan, or just the culture plan. We mentioned the architecture, and the crown jewel has to be the Kunsthaus Bregenz, the Cube.
This is a bucket list building if you're into design at all. It was designed by Peter Zumthor, a Swiss architect who's famous for being incredibly minimalist.
From the outside, it looks like a glowing light box.
Exactly. It's covered in these etched glass panels that kind of look like fish scales, but the real secret is the interior. It's all raw concrete and daylight.
No artificial lights.
None in the main galleries. It's all natural light that's filtered through the ceiling. So the art looks completely different depending on if it's a sunny day or a cloudy day.
That's such a cool concept. The building itself is the experience.
It is, and it's right next door to the Vorarlberg Museum, which is another architectural stunner.
That's the one with the facade made from bottle bottoms.
Yes, they use the bottoms of plastic bottles to create molds for these concrete flowers. It's a mix of high tech and folk art. And inside, that's where you get the why of the region.
But I like your advice. Don't overdo it.
Right, Bregenz is about the outdoors. Don't spend your whole day inside. Pick one Kunsthaus or the History Museum, absorb it, and then get back to the lake. You gotta keep that rhythm.
Let's talk about the scenic heights again. The Pfänder mountain. Is it a difficult trek? Do I need hiking boots?
Not at all. That's the beauty of it. There's a cable car right in the city. You ride up, and in 6 minutes, you're at the top. The view is the best geography lesson you'll ever get.
And the view, because you can see all three countries at once.
You see the Rhine River flowing into the lake. You see the German flatlands, the Swiss peaks, and of course, the Austrian Alps right behind you. It's a 360-degree panorama. It really puts everything into perspective.
But there's a catch: the visibility warning.
Crucial point. Always check the webcam before you buy your ticket. The lake often has a layer of mist or fog in autumn. Sometimes you go up and you're above a sea of clouds, which is beautiful. But sometimes you're just in a white soup.
So look up before you go up.
Exactly. Don't be that tourist staring at a grey wall.
Get advice.
Ahem.
Okay, moving away from specific sites to the general activities. How do we fill the gaps?
You have to get on the water. It totally changes your perspective. When you're on a boat, the lake stops being a barrier and it starts feeling like a highway connecting nations.
And cycling. I know the Lake Constance cycle path is huge.
It is. And the part around Bregenz is flat, paved, and incredibly scenic. You don't need to be an athlete. You can just rent a bike right over to Germany for lunch. It takes maybe 20 minutes and ride back.
And that brings us to my favorite topic: Food. What are we eating in Vorarlberg?
It's got a very distinct culinary identity, and it's all about the cheese, specifically Bergkäse, mountain cheese.
So we're looking for a gay Spitzen?
Yes, that is the national dish of the West. Tiny flour dumplings, loads of strong melted cheese, and it's topped with crispy fried onions. It's heavy, it's delicious, it's perfect hiking fuel.
And the dining style is different too.
It is, because you're so far west, the sun sets later than in Vienna, so you have these long, lingering summer evenings. The recommendation is to have a slow dinner.
Just find a terrace near the lake.
Exactly. Order a glass of white wine and just watch the light fade. Don't rush. This is not a place for fast food.
So if I'm sold on this, which I am, how do I structure it? We have the 1-day sprint and the relaxed 2-day plan.
Right. So the 1-day plan is for the listener who's maybe driving from Zurich to Munich and just stopping over. If you only have 1 day, you have to be surgical. Start with the lake promenade to wake up, get that fresh air, then head into town for a coffee and one cultural highlight.
Just one. Probably the Kunsthaus for the visual impact.
I'd agree. Don't try to do both museums. You'll burn out. Okay, then a relaxed lunch, and in the afternoon, you take the cable car up the Pfänder for that king of the world view. Okay, back down to the water for that second promenade walk we talked about, and then a sunset dinner. It covers all the bases: lake, culture, view, food. A perfect sampler plate.
Okay, in the evening. But the real expert advice is to stay for 2 days, isn't it?
That is the best version of the trip, for sure, because when you add that second day, you unlock the whole region. You stop just visiting a city, and you start visiting the international Lake Constance region.
So what does day 2 look like?
Day 2 is all about the hub and spoke model. You wake up in Bregenz, maybe do a boat ride in the morning, but then you pick 1-day trip.
And this is the strongest selling point for me. You can sleep in Austria, but spend the afternoon in Germany or Switzerland.
Effortlessly, and without having to repack your suitcase.
Okay, we've got a list of options here. Let's run through them. Option 1, Lindau, Germany.
This is the charm option. Lindau's an island town connected by a bridge. It's got a harbor with a famous lion statue and a lighthouse.
Bombersteine, Eiscreme.
Very Bavarian, very postcard perfect. It's a short train or boat ride away. If you want cute, you go to Lindau.
Okay, option 2, St. Gallen, Switzerland.
This one's for the history and culture buffs. St. Gallen is a proper Swiss city with a UNESCO World Heritage Abbey district. The Abbey Library there is one of the most beautiful Rococo rooms on Earth.
So you can see medieval manuscripts in Switzerland in the morning and be back for cheese noodles in Austria by dinner?
That's the magic of the spot. 2 totally different cultural experiences in 1 day.
Option 3, Mainau, Germany.
The Flower Island. This is strictly for the warm season. It's basically a botanical garden on an island. Millions of tulips, roses. It's very calm, very relaxed.
And what if I want to stay in Austria but see something a bit older since Bregenz is so modern?
Then you take the train south to Feldkirch. It's got a medieval castle, narrow streets, old towers. It feels like the Middle Ages, which is a perfect contrast to Bregenz's glass and concrete.
And finally, for the people who really want to get the feel of the real Vorarlberg, the Bregenzer Wald.
This is my personal favorite. The Bregenzer Wald is the countryside region right behind Bregenz. It's a collection of villages where you see the traditional wooden architecture mixed with the super modern design we talked about.
They have designer bus stops, right?
Wait, really?
Yes, famous architects designed the bus stops in one of the villages. It just shows how much they care about design there.
That's amazing.
So it's a place to drive through, stop for cheese, and just breathe.
And it feels so distinct from the rest of Austria, so quiet and beautiful.
So the strategy is base yourself in Bregenz, enjoy the lake, and then just pick one of these spokes to explore.
Exactly. If you try to do Lindau and St. Gallen in 1 day, you'll just be exhausted. Pick one direction and really enjoy it.
Let's do some quick logistics before we wrap up. When's the best time to go?
It's a year round destination, but the experience really shifts. Summer is the peak. That's the festival, the swimming, the long nights. It's buzzing.
But I'm guessing it's harder to find a hotel.
Oh, yeah, especially during the festival, you need to book hotels way, way in advance if you want to be central.
What about spring or autumn?
Autumn is spectacular. The light is golden, the water's calm, the trees are changing, perfect for hiking. Spring is fresh and full of flowers, but the water is still way too cold for a swim. Winter's cozy. It's not a ski resort town itself, though they're nearby. Bregenz in winter is about the museums, the cafes, the Christmas markets. It's very quiet.
In winter. So if you want solitude and art, go in November.
For sure. And practical essentials, stay central so you can walk to the lake. And pack layers. The lake creates its own weather system. It can be sunny one minute and stormy the next.
So to bring it all home, why choose Bregenz? Why not just stay in Vienna for an extra couple of days?
Yeah, I think it comes back to that idea of contrast. You go to Vienna, you get the imperial history. You go to Salzburg, you get classic Alpine charm. But Bregenz gives you a modern European Austria.
It's open, international.
Exactly, forward looking. It feels less like a tourist itinerary where you're just ticking off boxes and more like an actual vacation.
They're just rushing from monument to monument.
Precisely. It gives you air and space. You're living by the lake, hopping borders, and seeing a side of the country that frankly most tourists completely miss.
I love that. It's about balance. You need the schnitzel and the palaces, but you also need the fresh air and the modern art.
A fascinating place to explore.
Thanks for listening to Travel Austria Quick Tips. Great trips and see you soon in Austria.